I guess we're in time this week, and today we have the last song from the EP called Disarray / Alsatia, or I think it's the other way around. As the name says, today we're gonna listen to Cause Disarray with a respectable length of almost 420, which is always great, right? I remember it to be a great song. Let's see if that holds true. Oh.
止まることない苦音求めるあがきさんざめく街冷めた目で見つめてる終わることない無邪気で無残な日々諦めることそれさえも諦める時の果て祈りは届かない監視され刻む記憶は切なく未来へ重なる懐かしい過去から続く歪んだメイテ Search for the truth 刻む傷跡それは未来への戒め苦しい過去がもたらす神らめいて
Compared to the previous songs, where they play around a bit with this element of disorder and contrast, it stands out here that it's like very structured in its build up, where layers on layers were added to this mix. How the drums come in here. Through that piano we get a sense of dwelling in memories. Then we have the way Yamabi narrates this with those pauses in between as well, which is then answered with these little piano accents. You know, it's a call and answer thing. Oh, the bass is answering here, okay. I know it's like two voices. As always, I love the violence here. Oh, Yuki with the organ. Oh, that's very tasty. That's a very sick keyboard sound, dude. Oh! The little keyboard section, which had a kind of interesting synth sound going on there, which reminds of this mystical element. In contrast, we have this a bit of conflictive, aggressive mood we had already established way back in like Alsatia in the very beginning. So this feels very strongly like a little callback. but it has a very different drive to it. Like this sound, it has such a weird quality to it. And it sounds a bit scary, right? But just... That was very cool. That's actually a really good melodic solo. The way it comes in, it pierces through that dark chaos and then it wrestles a bit with that. It's like a bit of a fighting situation, but it gains the upper hand and then in the end it swells up, that legato section, and in the end it just swings open with those bends and resolves basically, right? And then we get back to this calm mood. That was a cool band. The piano. I get a bit of beach, sunset over the beach mood as usually in Galneryus songs. Especially here, it's pretty strong. We get a bit of like bossa nova groove. I always imagine like Yuki with his like 5 keyboards he has in stage sometimes. I think the piano opened things up quite a lot. We had this free open space presented for a little, and then we have those sparkles, airy quality, and again like sounds a bit open after this somewhat conflictive solo section. Sparkles. Yo! We get through the end of this chorus also the sense of closure. The song is called Disarray. There's a lot of ways how you could portray this theme, right? But I think it's like a very positive, it's like the solution for the problem we had before. I don't exactly remember what the problem was, but just cause disarray. That's exactly what you should do, and I found that out now. And there's a certain calmness in this revelation. Solo coming back. Yama B doing some weird screams in the background. Oh, they really have this like high combination element. Yes. Oh, that was a pretty damn compact song. Okay, so we're going in, we're going out, that's the thing. I think that was also like noticeable how they went really high, like in the solo sections, to really go for that closures. Maybe it's a shoe thing, maybe it's a Galneryus thing, but we've heard that so far several times, and I know there's other examples as well where the end has to be a bit grandiose. It's always ending up there, right? It's like not a calm closure. We're rising up to a high spot. That's kind of what they musically do here. Like the background arrangement holds the stuff very firmly. And it's really chill, like the solo is very chill and relaxed, I would say. The song started off with this, right? And it ends off with this stuff. This idea of this rhythm also reminds a bit of this rhythmic idea we had in Alsatia for a little. It's called Alsatia quasi-Disarray. You can read that as a linear progression. It starts off here and ends off here. So guys, thanks for that song. And now onto the lyrics. Yeah, I mean, as we kind of heard, a lot of Japanese, but the lyrics aren't very long, so this should be a rather short one. Never ceasing the struggle for eternity, gazing coldly at the bustling city, never-ending days both innocent and cruel, even giving up, that too I give up at the end of time. And then we have this little thing which comes right before the chorus. Prayers never reach their destination. Let's unpack this for a bit. Never ceasing the struggle for eternity. This endless battle theme, which is very prevalent in Galneryus in general, even in very recent songs. We're kind of watching from outside. We're at this rather lone spot watching at this bustling city with a kind of emotionless gaze, right? Because we are swallowed by our own thoughts and our own inner world here. Never ending, days both innocent and cruel. Again, very relativizing here. We have this never ceasing, never ending, same thing here. Innocent and cruel. Calling back this contrast we had a lot in the music of this EP especially, which actually hits it pretty well. We have this like innocent fairy tale-esque element and this cruel, rather aggressive thing we had throughout the songs. That was also interesting, even giving up, that too I give up at the end of time. I even give up to give up. What we could read out over like the past album even was a certain notion of we've reached the end of our story and now we want to put an end to this, but we kind of can't. And then there is this new story arising from this. And that's what I kind of get from this here, you know, even giving up. I now even give up to give up. I just give up to like trying to stop. We just keep moving on no matter what happens, because that's just how things go. Prayers never reach their destination. That's also pretty cool, like how they put that in the little silence before the chorus. It's just because, especially in this EP, there was a lot of like fleeing into a fantasy world, like fleeing from something and hoping for certain things. This is just a realization that hoping doesn't get me anywhere. I just have to accept how things are and do what I can to play my part in it, basically. Chorus. Quasi-Disarray, carved memories overlap painfully into the future, a distorted intoxication continuing from the nostalgic past. Very visual imagery here, I like it. I hope this is like grammatically as intended, because this is in English here. I would understand this as a suggestion or an order, right? So like you're supposed to cause disarray, and now this is characterized a bit further with the disarray, I guess. Carved memories. We had those sculptures in the beginning in Alsatia, if you remember. So this is now combined with the memories in the past, basically overlap painfully into the future. So they're still there. A distorted intoxication continuing from the nostalgic past. Whoa. So the past bleeds into the future, and you can try to deal with that, and you should try to deal with that, but like that's how it's probably always gonna be. Search for the truth. Carved scars, they are warnings for the future. A maddening intoxication brought by the past. It seems to me they really trying to pinpoint a certain feeling here with the song, and especially like with these lyrics as well. As I said, we get a lot of this dwelling in memories. We also had in the beginning, you know, they're gazing coldly at a city which is kind of alive and stuff. We're in a like very reflective mood here, and it's about those overwhelming emotions from the past still mingling with our hopes and dreams for the future. And it's this dualistic aspect about those memories. This carved, set in stone thing, which is an indicator, like warnings for the future, right? So it has a functional aspect, but it's also a distorted and a maddening intoxication, also in the form of nostalgia, which makes you want to hold on to certain things in an irrational way, leading you into delusions and whatever. So this kind of forms a really comprehensive message, for me at least, in this regard. Let's see what the second verse says. There's no turning back, the path leading to the end, offering my life in exchange for tomorrow. No regrets, the sins I've piled up with pride, the captive, even that is ensnared at the end of time. Prayers will not reach. So hopefully this is like the final instance where they finally have realized, well, there is no turning back. Thank you very much. There were a lot of songs dealing with this where they still try to turn back. Offering my life in exchange for tomorrow. So this is, I think, a certain like stoicism thing they have acquired, which I think we have talked about a bit before. That's basically what they're lacking. That's what they need. This just acceptance of what comes at me, not clinging at stuff which is like over. We also had this like in Aim at the Top, for example, this is my life, it's not a game. We had this thing, and then it was a game in the end, and now this is probably the cleansing, trashing this whole idea finally. It's not a game, it's my life, and you're supposed to offer it in exchange for new things to arise. No regrets, the sins I've piled up with pride, the captive, even that is ensnared at the end of time. As they have this at the end of time, so well, this is this like almost nihilistic relativization argument. Well, if you look at the universe in whole, and if you look like at how long the world existed probably and will still exist, how significant is like a life such as mine? I don't know if that's really a convincing way to think about things like that, but that doesn't mean it's not true. So at the end of time, stuff will just go how stuff has always went. The sins I've piled up with pride. It's also interesting how they added the pride here. So pride was the reason for those sins. It could have been something entirely different, right? But it's like the realization, it was my own pride. Yeah. And then the last chorus. Cause Disarray, carved memories overlap painfully into the future, a distorted intoxication continuing from the nostalgic past, search for the truth, carved scars, their warnings for the future, a maddening intoxication brought by the past. So it's the same thing, makes sense, we don't need to switch up here. We're very firm with this realization, embrace the disorder, embrace the chaos, take things as they're coming, don't linger in Delulu land too much. This was the EP, Alsatia/Cause Disarray. Hope you liked it, because I freaking did. And yeah, so next time we're gonna move on. Well, not directly to the Reincarnation album. There's a little thing coming in between, but don't worry, it's not much. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. We're gonna meet next time.